We don't know what the schedule is for the Denver Broncos games this year, and this is Woody's World, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it that you haven't really discussed, unless you saw my column on Sunday, and I wanted to re-emphasize it, that he will be playing, Peyton Manning, against some of the highest paid, infamous and famous quarterbacks in the NFL. And you say, well, he does that every day, but he's never had I don't think that Peyton Manning has ever had a lineup like this. There you go, Phillip Rivers. Yeah, okay, all right. Phillip Rivers, twice. Phillip Rivers is one of the highest paid players in all of football. He ranks now ahead of Peyton Manning. So he plays him twice. You know that's always a battle. So you would consider him. Would you consider him in the top 10 in the league?
Phillip Rivers?
Yeah, he was a
Absolutely.
candidate for the. He was kind of our most valuable player last year.
I don't know that I'd consider him above Peyton.
Yeah, well, I'm not, but he's paid now more than Peyton. Alex Smith, and you go, Alex Smith, he's a manager. He is a guy who manages the game, and you got to remember, and I know you remember this, he was a #1 draft pick overall in the NFL. And I don't love him, but I like him. It was a nice upgrade for the Chiefs, who haven't had a good quarterback for years and years. Well, what about that other guy that was drafted the year Alex Smith was drafted? Do you remember that guy that fell to the bottom of the first round? It was supposed to be the #1 draft pick with Alex Smith.
Remind me.
This is part of the education process that I bring to the show every day. Aaron Rodgers and Alex Smith were considered 1-2 that year. It was sort of like when Peyton Manning came in with Ryan Leaf. That's the way it was. Aaron Rodgers fell all the way to the bottom, not the total bottom, but he fell way in the first round, and the Green Bay Packers picked him up, which was somewhat a surprise because they had a guy named Brett Favre. So far we have, are you keeping tabs on this?
I am.
Who have I said so far?
Alex Smith, Aaron Rodgers, and
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers, yeah.
So two of those you would consider in the top 10, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. How about this guy, Ben Roethlisberger?
I'd consider him top
Broncos
10.
are playing Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Would you consider Tom Brady in the top 10?
Yeah. I think after winning the Super Bowl, I think I'd put him in there.
Okay. You know who else he's playing? The highest paid quarterback in the league would be
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler signed not year to year, but he signed the biggest contract in NFL history. Okay, you like that? How you like these apples? Andrew Luck. Again, Andrew Luck pops up all the time, and Andrew Luck is now 2-1 against Peyton Manning. Those are pretty good lists.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't put Jay Cutler in the top 10.
It's fairly daunting when you start listing them all.
Well, when you think about those, and I'm leaving out a couple of others. Oh, Matt Stafford, not a top 10 guy.
No, but he puts up big numbers.
Yeah, Matt Stafford from Detroit. We don't know who's going to be the quarterback. And do you know who else he could play? I'm leaving out the biggest football name of all. Johnny Football.
You think he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns?
He could be.
That's true.
Yeah. So three from the NFC Central, and we don't know who's going to be Minnesota.
Oh yeah, we do. It'll be Teddy Bridgewater.
Well, you wouldn't put him in the top 10.
No.
You wouldn't put him in the top 20 right now.
No.
And the guys from their own conference, and they're playing, the New England Patriots again. They're playing the Indianapolis Colts. That is an array of quarterbacks that you will see either on television or in person next year against Peyton Manning. And if it's Peyton Manning's last year, what a way to go out against that many great quarterbacks. You don't normally see it because they usually play some dog teams that, and we don't. Derek Carr is going to be the quarterback of the Oakland Raiders. You can't put him in the top 20, but a young, good quarterback, I think.
Do they play Baltimore this coming year again?
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco. Huh.
So,
That is daunting.
I mean, I don't think, I sat down the other day and I was trying to figure out, and I said, well, he's playing Cutler, Brady. I went, Andrew Luck, Joe Flacco again. And I went through Aaron Rodgers. I mean, who's not on that list that's in the top 5 6? Breeze, but who had a bad year last year.
Yeah.
You would have to consider
Russell Wilson.
Who's going to become possibly the highest paid quarterback. They're waiting until all this settles, and they're going to make him a big time offer.
Well, you know what that tells you, Woody? When you end up in first place in your division, you play other first place teams from other divisions, and those teams are in first place because probably they have great quarterbacks.
Yeah, and you wanted it so bad. See, they could have been a wild card if they didn't play Peyton the last 3 games or so, and they wouldn't be playing all of these quarterbacks.
Yeah, see, I don't root for losses.
I'm.
You evidently do. You don't want them to win the division. You want them to be a wild card
You
team.
don't root for losses?
I don't root for losses.
In life. In life.
Well, yeah, if there's somebody I don't care for, I don't mind seeing them lose.
Okay, so you're pulling for the Nuggets to win every game now.
No, I'm not.
You're pulling for losses.
Because I think the more
What would
losses
be the-
in the
you're
long
pulling for
run,
ties?
in the long run, I think they'll be a winner. For instance,
Who?
4 years ago,
The Nuggets?
the Nuggets.
In the long run?
Yeah, in the long run, they'll be winners because they'll have a higher draft pick in all probability. Now, when the Broncos
No,
had,
well, they're trying to screw that up. They're back down to 7th.
in Elway's first year as the general manager, with Tim Tebow as the quarterback, I rooted for the Broncos to lose because, in the short term, because I felt the short-term pain would lead to a long-term gain and possibly Andrew
So
Luck.
you're a fan. You would call it.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
I don't care except when it makes sense. And it makes sense for the Nuggets to lose every game.
I'm with you there.
It made sense last year because we now seen them for 3 years. The last time they won a Super Bowl, they were a wild card and had to go on the road all the time. And they played every week. And we've now seen twice in the last 3 years that playing at home doesn't get you much, and winning the division only gets you a tougher schedule the next year. So
This is true.
about it.
Hey, let's
That
bring
was
in a
Woody's
guest.
world, and that was my opinion, and some of less. I think more of less.
Well, you involved me, so I
less of
talk.
less. Okay.